But I love how this episode, we kind of got the flashback to the Paris robbery. And really, Khloé kind of being like, Kim, you never were calm before this. And it really brought back the old Kim on the show.
Kim, you were a lunatic. If someone touched your clothes, I was going to wear that today. You were like, you're fully dressed. Like, you became calm.
I should tell the therapist, because she's trying to go back to like childhood, and I'm like,
no, you were never calm as a teenager in your 20s. You were cried about everything. You were bratty. You threw tantrums.
Khloé was spot on with this realization, which is also so interesting, you know, that Kim didn't even realize, and that she needs to go back and now tell the therapist so that they can unpack this. But yes, Kim was a brat. She wanted, what's the TikTok? I want the sweet. Like she was a brat.
The fact that Kim had so much trauma and her reliving it on the show.
I mean, imagine you're like gun to your head, getting tied up, dragged across a hotel room. And the guy, I remember him like telling me just like, stay calm and you'll live.
I'll never forget that episode of Keeping Up when she recapped the robbery. But seeing her kind of have the realization, like, it was that traumatizing of an experience that she forgot to even relay the message to her therapist, to where she's like, wait, I need to tell my therapist about this.
Yeah.
But Khloé over here being the one that's just, hello, it doesn't take a rocket scientist.
That's when it started. It doesn't take a detective to figure that one out.
But I think it was really so poignant, though, to like point out that how much she is desensitized from life, right?
Yeah.
She's one of the most famous women that we know. So there's tons of paparazzi. There's tons of, you know, I'm sure things that we don't even know about that go on behind closed doors when it has to deal with like being in the limelight. And so, yeah, being this calm is not okay. Quite alarming. And she has utilized it to her best interest, but it's time to dive deeper.
It is. And it's like, I feel like she's in the right headspace. And I love that we got a little moment where Kourtney was right.
But let me tell you something. Kourtney was right.
I feel like each sister has their own, like, their lore to them. Like, Kourtney's is eating healthy, going to therapy, and Kim is kind of following suit in Kourtney's footsteps.
I really think you should be on this journey with me and do it with me.
Oh, no.
I don't want to be the new Kourtney, but I always am.
Kourtney is known for being the wellness queen. And so being on this trajectory years before, you know, your siblings, and we see this in real life with like friends and different things, like everybody has to find their own journey to get to a greater point that maybe you've reached quicker than your friends. So,
and with the entire family, like the therapist being like, I started to watch your show.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, who is this therapist?
Right.
Have you never seen an episode? Did you have no idea who Kim Kardashian was?
NDA.
What is going on? And like the fact that the therapist told her
that she started to watch our show to do a little bit of homework.
Well, that's probably not a good idea.
I'd be like, please don't. Like, I want you to be as unbiased as possible.
No.
But not her throwing shade at Khloé, being like, Khloé needs therapy.
I know. Like, that's so messed up.
She said, we all need therapy, especially you.
I don't doubt it.
Khloé does need therapy. I think we've been saying this for years. Like, this can also be, you know, we're seeing her out of the house in present day. So maybe she went to therapy, and which we're going to see for the next season, to really like get out of her show.
Yeah. But with the little flashback of, I did go to therapy and the therapists were terrible to me.
I've never connected. Like, she's just like, listens. I'm like, I just told you my whole life story, every dark demonic thing, and you're just gonna be like,
she had
okay.
nothing to say.
No, I never got any guidance.
I was like, that's really messed up, though, for a therapist to be like, yeah, well, you don't really need me.
Well, and two, with everything she was delivering to the therapist, we only know a glimpse of what happened with the relationship with Lamar and Khloé. She gave us, I mean, obviously we know about the brothel, the drug addiction, the overdoses, but the fact that she's sitting there telling the therapist these things and their response is, well, does that make you upset? Are you like, whatever?
Are you
Khloé's
angry?
My husband, I found him at a drug den in a motel, and like I was saying something, but she's like, so do you get upset? I'm like, no, I mean, like I was like super calm. She's like, do you feel angry? I was like, no. She's like, I don't really think you need me. Like, I don't, and I was like, what? Is she firing me? Like, I couldn't really understand what was, are you breaking up with me?
as a therapist to say, I don't think you need me. Like, what do you mean? You need Khloé Kardashian's check, for one. You think they'd be gaslighting her, but maybe figure out why Khloé's so unbothered by all this stuff.
I love therapy. I've always been a good proponent of therapy, but I think that therapy is like dating, right? So you have to find your match. You got to kiss a couple frogs. You got to find that right therapist to really, you know, help you get through some stuff.
And like out of all of the Kardashians, she's been put through the most.
Yeah.
From season 1 and early on in life too, of just being the outcast of the Kardashian family. And the trash in of itself, Khloé needs therapy.
Yeah. Yeah. To even, I mean, Khloé is a really interesting human because as you've mentioned and have met her, she's very like selfless and wants to do more for others than herself at times. And so I think that going into this, you know, selfish era, if we can even, you know, point it to be that, I think therapy is needed.